Good morning, Year 2. It is Friday, the 5th of February, and we're going to start off today with a top marks game warm-up. So you can play with me on the board, and then afterwards, you can have a little go yourself. Okay, so we're thinking about number bonds this morning. So numbers that we pair together to make 10. So on the board, the number will appear, and I want you to shout out to your grown-up and shout out to me the matching pair to make 10. Okay, let's go. So we can find this game by typing into Google, hit the button, and then you want to select the number bonds option. We're just going to start today warming up to 10. Now, all of my children, we've played this in school before, haven't we? So we should be able to remember how to get on. And then when you get better at 10, have a go at numbers 20 and even 100. Because Mrs. Wood has said before, if we know them to 10, we also know them to 100. Just make it 10 times bigger by adding a 0 and making it a multiple of 10. Right, let's go then, Year 2. Are we ready? Let's get all warmed up. Okay, so you can shout out to your grown-up and let's see how we get on. 9 and 1. 1 and 9. 3 and 7. 5 and 5. 8 and 2. 3 and 7. 8 and 2. Are you quicker than me? 9 and 1. 4 and 6. 0 and 10. 5 and 5. Are you answering quicker than Mrs. Wood is? 0 and 10. 6 and 4. 2 and 8. 9 and 1. 8 and 2. Well, Mrs. Wood got 16. Have a go, Year 2, at home and see if you can beat my score. And I want to see your photographs of you beating Mrs. Wood 16 and see if you are better at your number bonds than I am. Okay, for today then, we're doing a little bit of a recap today. So all week we've been looking at fractions and dividing whole shapes and whole numbers into equal parts. But today we're having a recap because last week lots of us found multiplication and division quite tricky. So we're going to go back today to page 16. Now we've already completed question 1. So for today, we're looking at question 2 and 3, and I've got an extra challenge at the end. So I know this is learning last week, Year 2, that you found quite tricky. We need to have our maths brains on, our maths hats on, and we are multiplying and dividing today. So we've looked at fractions this week, which is like division because you've been dividing whole numbers and whole shapes into equal parts. So let's have a look first at what multiplication means. So there are lots of different words for multiplication. There is lots of, groups of, times, repeated addition, because we're adding the same number over and over again, and we're making lots of and groups of the same number. We're making the same number lots of times. Okay, let's look at division then. So division is the opposite, it's the inverse of multiplication. Okay, so when we're dividing a number into equal groups. We want to know how many times a number equally fits into another number. So it's the opposite of multiplication. So we're looking how many times a group of numbers go into another number. We're not making lots of a number. We're trying to find out how many times a group of number can fit into another number. So we still need to know our 2s, 5s and 10s for this. And if we can do multiplication really well, this lends itself and helps us with division. So let's have a little look first. Now this should help you with the first question 3 this should help you with. We're going to start with. We'll go back to question 2 afterwards. So we're looking at the relationship between multiplication and division. So if we know one, we can work that out and find out the other answer. So just tell your grown-up the number sentence that Mrs. Wood has got on the board. I've got 7 times 2. Or we can say 7 lots of 2 or 7 groups of 2. So I'm going to work that out by drawing that pictorial on my board, and I'm going to draw 7 lots of 2 to find my answer. You might want to use your hands and count in 2 7 times and see if you get the answer before Mrs. Wood does. So I would like to find out 7 lots of 2. So I'm going to draw 7 groups of 2. So I've got 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 3 times 2, 4 times 2, 5 times 2, 6 times 2. And how many times 2 did I need? How many lots of 2 did I need? Groups of 2, 7. 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 3 times 2, 4 times 2, 5 times 2, 6 times 2, and 7 lots of 2. Let's count in 2 as my groups now, okay, year 2. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. If you're not very confident counting in 2s, you can count all of our P's individually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 7 times 2 is 14. So how is that going to help me with division? So when we're looking at division and how it's related to multiplication, we're working the number sentence backwards. So I want to know this time, I'm going to start with the answer. If I know that 7 lots of 2 is 14, I also know, I get 1 for 3, I also know that 14 divided into groups of 2 will give me 7 groups of 2. And I can check that using my pictures here. So I've got 14 spots altogether, my peas in a pod, my rays. And I've got 14. And if I split them into groups of 2, I've got 1 group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2, 5 groups of 2, 6 groups of 2, and 7 groups of 2. So 2 fits equally into 14 7 times. So I've worked my number sentence backwards here, because in question 3, you've got to match the multiplication to its division, to its partner. Okay, let's try another one. So this time, I'm not counting in groups of 2, I'm counting in groups of 5. So we need to count in 5s for this one. So I need to do 4 lots of 5. Can you work out what 4 lots of 5 is before Mrs. Wood draws it on the board? So I'm going to draw 4 groups of 5, and you can have a go on your whiteboard as well and join in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 1 group of 5. So 1 times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 groups of 5. How many more groups do I need? Tell you all grown up, I've got 2 groups of 5. How many more do I need? I need 4 altogether. So how many more do I need? 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 groups of 5. So I've got 4 lots of 5 here. 1 5, 2 5, 3 5, 4 5s. So now, should I count each circle individually, or what can I count in? Counting 5s. Are we ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. Did you get that answer, year 2, before Mrs. Wood did? Did you get 4 fingers and counting 5s 4 times? 5, 10, 15, 20. So my answer is 20. How is that then? Can you remember, how is that going to help me with my division, the inverse? So we'll start backwards, see if you can write it on your whiteboard with your grown-up and work out what the division is going to be here. So I'm going to work backwards. So what number am I going to start with? So if I know that 4 times 5 is 20, I also know that 20 divided into equal groups of 5. So how many 5s go into 20? So use my first number sentence to find the answer. How many 5s go into 20. So use my drawing, so use my groups, and then use my first number sentence. What is the missing number sentence in the inverse sentence? So what's the missing number? So 4 times 5 is 20. So 20 divided by 5 is 1 group, 2 group, 3 groups, 4 groups. 4 groups of 5 fit evenly into 20, and that's my missing number in my fact family. Because in my fact family here, I've got 20, 4, and 5. I've got 3 numbers that can give me 2 number sentences here. I've got 4 lots of 5 is 20, 4 times 5 is 20, and then 20 divided by 5 is 4. And don't forget, year 2, if we're super clever, we can also find 2 more number sentences, because just like addition and subtraction, we can turn them around. We can buy one and get another one for free. So we can also do 4 times 5. That means we also know that 5 times 4 is 20. And here we can do 20 divided by 4 this time would give us 5. So one number sentence gives us 3 more possible number sentences. Okay, so this time I'm not counting in 2s or 5s. What am I counting in this time? Tell you grown up. I'm counting in 10 this time. So how many groups of 10 do I need to draw? 3 groups of 10 on your whiteboard with Mrs. Wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at the top 9 and 10. I've got 1 group of 10. How many more do I need? I've got 1. How many more groups of 10 do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 2 groups of 10. I need 3 groups of 10 though, so I need 1 more group of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's count in tens together now. Then are you ready? You must write on your whiteboard so you can count along as well. 10, 20, 30. And you might have worked that out already, because when we're timesing by 10 and making a number 10 times larger, 10 times greater, we can just add a 0. So 3 times 10 is 10, 20, 30. So what's my division going to be? Can you have a quick write it on your whiteboard? What's my division going to be? So for my division, I start with the largest. Unlike my multiplication, I end with the largest. So I'm working my number sentence backwards. So multiplication gives me the greater answer, the larger number. But division, I'm splitting the larger number into groups. So I start with the larger number. So 30 divided, shared into equal groups of 10 is how many groups? How many groups of 10 fit evenly and equally into 30? Let's count. I had 1 group, 2 group, 3 groups. And I know that because I can use this number sentence to help me with the inverse. So my fact family was made of 30, 3, and 10. And like before, see if you can turn this number sentence around and this number sentence around to give you a total of 4 number sentences to match the fact family. So that should help you, year 2, in completing question 3 today, finding the relationship between multiplication and division. Well, in question 2, it also gives you, some word problems. We've got a word problem here. So I've written some word problems for you on the board, and we're going to do those together to help you with question 2. Okay. Let's have a look then. So when I'm reading a word problem in maths, I've got to read. That isn't maths. I need to read it and look for the important information, the bit of maths that I need to solve. So let's read it together. And I've got a picture down here. There are 30 children in a class. Each table has 5 chairs. How many tables do we need? So 30 is important, so that tells me my whole number, 30. And each table has got 5 chairs. So imagine that you're in the classroom with me now and you've got 5 chairs on each table. So how many tables am I going to need? I need to make sure that all of my 30 children have got somewhere to put their bottom. So how many tables will I need? If only 5 children sit at each table, I need to work out how many tables I'm going to need. So I'm going to be dividing. Am I going to be doing 30 times 5? 30 lots of 5. Or am I going to be multiplying? I'm going to be multiplying or dividing. So am I going to do 30 times 5 and multiplying? Or am I going to do 30 divided by 5? I'm going to be dividing because I want to know how many times 5 fits into 30 because that will tell me how many tables I need. Okay, so let's think about how we can solve this. So we could draw it like we did before. We could do 30 in groups of 5. So drawing groups of 5 until we get to 30. And we could also work it out our fingers and see how many times 5 evenly fits into 30. So let's write our number sentence first. We found the important information. We've worked out that we need to divide. So 30. So 30 children divided into tables of 5. How many tables will I need? So have a go at solving that on your whiteboard. You can draw groups of 5 until you get to 30, or you can count in 5s until you get to 30, and that should give you how many tables we need. Let's do it together. So this time I'm going to draw. I'm going to work it out on my fingers. So 5, so that's 1 table of 5, 10, 2 tables of 5, 15, 5, 10, 15, 3 tables of 5, 20, 4 tables of 5, 25, 5 tables of 5, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I will need 6 tables, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. So I'll need 6 tables of 5 to make sure all my 30 children have a place to sit. That should help you this morning with question 2. So have a look to see if you are dividing or multiplying. Okay, let's look at my next problem then. It is Kim's birthday in your class. She has 7 friends, so that's important, and wants to give each of her friends 2 sweets. Kim's very generous, isn't she? She doesn't want to give 1 sweet per friend. She wants to give them 2 sweets. But she needs to work out then how many sweets she needs to buy and bring into school. So she's got 7 friends, and she wants to give them 2 sweets each. So is that going to be multiplying or dividing? She needs 7 lots of 7 times 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and a 2. So it's going to be times 7 lots of 2. Okay. Can you work out that with your grown up? You can draw it on your whiteboard, or you can get 7 fingers and count in 2s. 2 for each friend. How many will they need altogether? Okay, so let's work it out together. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So 7 fingers, counting in 2s each time. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So Kim will need to make sure that she brings 14 sweeties into school to make sure that each of her 7 friends have 2 each. And you could have drawn as well 7 groups and popped 2 sweets inside each group, and that should have also given you the same answer. So there isn't a lot of learning today in your book, so that should help you complete question 2 and 3. You've also got question 4 at the bottom, which is halving, which we looked at on Wednesday. So I've set you a little challenge today, Year 2. So I've given you on my board 3 sets of pictures. So you might want to take a picture of the screen or freeze the screen here when you come to do my challenge. And I want you to work out the multiplication and the division for each of these pictures. So I've set them out in arrays. So what are they grouped in? Okay, how many groups are there? And can you show the multiplication and the division for each picture? So I'll just go over the first one with you. we've got a group of apples here. And our groups of apples could be in threes, or they could be in fours. I could go across. So how many groups of 3 have I got there? So that will give you a multiplication. And then once you've worked out the multiplication, turn the number sentence around, work backwards, and then tell me how many times 3 goes into the total altogether to find your division. So I'm looking forward to seeing your challenge here too. So today is a bit of a recap because we found multiplication division last week quite tricky. Some of you though were superstars. Okay, so lots of drawing pictorial on your whiteboards to help you. So using these pictures, can you find the multiplication and division for each set of arrays? Okay, let's see how you get on here. So look forward to seeing your work later. Bye-bye.